Speaking of mental illness, which way do you want to go? You want to go talk about Britney Spears, or do you want to talk about the Cecil Hotel?
I'm curious
pick your
about this.
poison, my friend.
I want to hear about both, but tell me about this Britney flick because I was interested in it and I tried so hard to find this damn movie on Hulu and I did not succeed. So you're just gonna have to give me the plot synopsis.
Yeah, Hulu has the anti-business model where like Hulu's search interface is the worst of any of them. I have them all. Tubi will blow you out of the water. Hulu. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know who is running your user experience stuff. But you're garbage. You're garbage. They suck. Like I think I searched Britney Spears in Hulu and it didn't come up. I only found it because it was boom on my homepage, and it's the New York Times Presents is what the show is called. So if you do not know that and you're just like, what's that Britney Spears show I won't watch? You can't find it. You just can't. Maybe we're idiots. I don't know, but like, figure it out, Hulu. Get your shit together. Britney Spears, man, love me some Britney. Free Britney, y'all. You know what I mean? I'm in complete support. Been a big Britney Spears fan since I was knee high to a grasshopper, if you will. Very formative years of Britney fandom. You know what I mean? Man, it's sad to watch. It's sad because you see how you could basically drive someone insane by a few different mechanisms of just insane notoriety at a young age, money, media scrutiny, just tearing her ass apart over every little thing. And it started with, Baby One More Time, that video, the slut shaming. Right. It was wild because you were like, oh shit. I mean, in 2020, 2021, I think President Kylie Jenner is gonna happen eventually. You know what I mean? She's literally a billionaire, right? But if 1998 and 9, when was that Baby One More Time? 99.
That was 99.
Something like that. Man, they were coming out.
Yeah,
they were. The mothers of America against Britney Spears or something. You know what I mean? So it was a wild time. You'd never see it now. Now they're like, oh wow, like we're putting you in the Instagram Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is.
They
would give you an award for chasteness or whatever.
Yeah. Where do I sign up for your OnlyFans?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like you'd be incredible. But that weighed in on her, you know what I mean? Just a good old girl from, Louisiana, you know what I mean? Trying to do her thing. Seemed like she had a really unstable, weird relationship with her father. Doesn't help matters. She had really high profile relationships with other insane high profile people. She, made some mistakes. They really, really hammered home how much paparazzi were literally just, and I thought the Princess Diana laws had kind of cleaned some of that up. I think maybe in England and the UK they have.
Yeah, but in the US
damn,
it was
they don't
its
give
own
a
thing. And
no.
you and I, like right before we started recording this podcast, we were talking about how someone like Ben Affleck, like poor dude's getting hammered by the paparazzi, can't get a break, and how granted, yes, they are millionaires and you're famous and all that other stuff, but like it is rough when all you want to do is get a cup of coffee down the street and you can't even trip and stumble without it making national news. And everything like that. So yeah, I could totally see, especially if you're, coming into adulthood in a national spotlight, that's enough to drive anyone insane, especially if, they're trying to make you look like you are,
But it's interesting because they have a ton of clips and they even talk to some of the paparazzi who are literally just assigned to her, basically. Like I'm a parasite. Where you don't really I would argue that Britney doesn't benefit from you taking pictures of her in a gas station, right? So I think your relationship it's not, what is it when there's I'm trying to remember the term, but there's no real benefit both ways.
Yeah.
Right? You're literally just preying on this poor girl.
It's not symbiotic, it's parasitic.
It's not symbiotic, it's parasitic. And so, they really do show through video clips of where, she was cordial, she was kind of polite at first, she was like wave, and they make a point to point out that she wasn't always, shaving her head and destroying paparazzi cars with umbrellas like she's infamously shown for doing. Like it was a descent into madness based on years and years of this.
And
right?
that was like her breaking point, right? Like that was
totally.
Was that post-divorce?
So she's post-divorce, and she's just trying to see her kids. She doesn't have any visitation. The dude Kevin Federline is holding her kids, and they're in a home or something, and denying her, like, won't buzz her in through the gate. So they back out. They go to a gas station, and then they confront them, and that's when she has the meltdown where she's bald and she's taking an umbrella and she's destroying a paparazzi guy's truck, and you feel bad for her. How bad can you feel for, like, a world famous, incredibly talented, beautiful white woman in America? But you do. You feel bad. You know what I mean? So she's gone through a lot. You know what I mean? We wish her nothing but the best. Free Britney. I think they're working on her conservatorship. I think I see some stuff in the news. Her dad got unapproved to manage her investments or something. But that dude.
Does the movie go into that sort of stuff? Like, since it's developing, like, does it kind of towards the end be like, hey, this is
Yeah, totally. It's wild because you typically have conservatorships over elderly people who cannot manage their own finances or are in grave danger of being fraudulently basically taken advantage of.
It's
like
to say that
sending the Nigerian princes, like, you're
right. Like, they're basically saying you're not mentally capable.
You're not
of
competent.
Your own finances, which is
right.
But that's pretty messed up. How old is Britney now? She's like 40.
She's
maybe.
I don't think she's even quite that old. But the reality is, it becomes very clear that her dad and, like, another lawyer guy are basically just using this to enrich themselves and just siphon money to themselves by controlling her, right? And so it's like she's incompetent enough to have the conservatorship, but she's not incompetent enough not to have, like, a Las Vegas residency and perform every night or whatever, right? So how do those two things align where you can have someone who she's not institutionalized? You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's allowed to go out and make money as long as she's not in charge of that money.
Yes. And by the way, I think they said, like, you know, her dad is in charge of her $60 million estate. And I went, what? How is Britney Spears only worth $60 million?
I know, that seems very low.
That's very low. I mean, can you imagine, like, for how big of a
triple
star?
Digits, you know, for something.
Dude, I mean, I was like, let me Google real quick. I like 2019. I'm not looking at 2020 numbers because obviously the apocalypse. But in 2019, Taylor Swift, who is, you know, a unicorn of herself, she made 185 million pre-tax.
Right.
Beyonce made 81. Rihanna made 62. Ariana Grande made 48. Katy Perry made 57 million. That was just the calendar year, right? So, like, Britney Spears was the biggest star in the world for years, and she only has 60 million to put, you know, a pot to piss in. Like, where did all? I mean,
I guess it's like one of those things because all she's been doing is those Vegas shows for, like, the last 10 years, right? So maybe
that was only recently. I mean, but she was out there putting out albums, bro. This was a time.
That's the thing is I haven't followed anything she's done aside. Like, it's like
you're not buying those albums.
Well, it's like weird because it's like, you know, at a certain point, like, certain celebrities, like, almost transcend whatever they initially got famous for and just became, you know, your local TMZ embarrassing photo of the week. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah,
but she was making money when they were buying CDs, when girls were out there actually buying CDs. Totally.
But, like, I mean, in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years, maybe she's dropped some stuff every once in a while, but it seemed like usually I think once you're doing a conservatorship in Vegas or whatever it's called, like, you know, you're probably
that's the residency.
Yeah, residency. Yeah, sorry. Once you're doing a residency in Vegas, you're probably not touring anywhere else. You know what I mean? That's usually when you're kind of settling into almost like diva retirement. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, maybe. I mean, Celine Dion is making money out
but
there.
That's
bro.
the thing.
I think
you don't have to try.
Gwen Stefani did it. Like, they're not all washed up.
Well, it's not being washed up, but it's like it's. When you reach a certain level of fame and you kind of want to say, like, hey, I don't want to try too hard. It's like finding a nice sitcom to settle into if you're a famous actor. You know, where you don't have to try too hard, but you get consistent work and people still know your name and everything like that. So that's...
I don't know, man. I think they would think of that as the pot at the end of the rainbow.
Right.
Imagine not having to take a dump in your tour bus. Like, you don't have to do the traveling.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the years of traveling weighs in on them. Now you're like Chris Angel Mind Freak or your Carrot Top, and you just live in some, like, the Bellagio, president's suite or something. Like, dude, that's a cherry gig. I don't think it's quite as shitty as
I don't mean as a bad thing, but like, no, I agree. I think when you're basically like, hey, I'm getting kind of tired of touring, or I'm getting older and I just don't want to have to put up with this sort of shit. Like, yeah, you find a spot to go to and you have the crowds come to you. You don't go to them, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people would kill for that kind of situation, but yeah. Anyway, man, it's weird and sad. So
did she have like lots of back taxes, or what? Is she like a
dude? I didn't know what the deal was, because she basically, so she agreed to do a new residency kind of concert, something or other. They showed kind of her at the press conference, and then she basically just canceled it and said, like, I'm not working until this is all
sorted out.
Done.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not gonna work for other people, because the lawyer guy was petitioning the judge in the case for a raise.
Oh, wow.
And saying that, hey, she does so much work that it's a lot of work for me to have to do, so I deserve a raise. And they're like, well, if she's fit to work a ton and make you guys a lot of money, then why isn't she fit to like run her finances? Right. And she didn't even want to do it personally. All she wanted was
to be able to hire
my dad not to do it.
Yeah,
she wanted a bank to do it. She was like, I want a bank to be running my affairs and my money and money managing. It's no different than anyone else in entertainment that has like a finance manager or something, right?
Hasn't she been?
That's all she wanted. She just didn't want her daddy to.
Well,
do it.
Hasn't she been trying to get free from him for decades?
She's been trying to get free.
Like
free
even
Britney.
even before the Free Britney thing, like even when she was like younger, like way younger, like when she was still with Kevin Federline, I thought I remembered seeing her dad pop up in tabloids being a piece of shit. Or something.
Yeah, so I think they signed. So, I believe the conservatorship. She's not even responsible for her own medical care. Like, she doesn't make her medical care decisions.
Damn.
So if they're like, hey, we're gonna try a new medication, that's not up to her.
Damn.
Like, it is that legit.
That sucks.
So, and I think her episodes and how it's a 90-minute documentary. I don't know if I'd call it a movie or whatever, but the piece paints a perfect portrait of how the media and the paparazzi and the media and Diane Sawyer and kind of how they shaped this vision of her and what sold tabloids of crazy Britney sells, man. So give me more, give me more. And it kind of became this thing where even the judges and stuff were like, yeah, she's clearly crazy. So I guess you guys are, you really do need to protect her by taking care of her, and she can't see her children. And she agreed to some of this stuff early on because she thought if she agreed to it, if she gave them an inch, she'd be able to see her kids more and do this and do that. If she conceded, she would get more out of it, but really they took a mile. You know what I mean? So she just, basically, it's a very interesting, well done thing about how a machine just switched when all this happened. Her best friend Felicia, who was like her, a confidant, hairdresser, like
was she
chaperone,
one that, like,
basically
leaked shit to the press or something, right?
No, like she's. I don't think she did anything malicious towards her. Okay. It sounds like, she was just basically, once her dad kind of got the claws in and ran everything, she was basically just hired to be like give tours of like her concerts. Like, they basically just removed her. You know what I mean? They were like, yeah, we're just gonna you're no longer necessary. Wow. You know what I mean? So this poor lady who just spent her entire life traveling around with Britney Spears, getting her coffees and shit. But like really ended up being kind of one of her best friends. Now is just, chilling in a tiny little house. And,
relegated to being a tour guide, basically.
Amazing. I don't know what she's doing now, but, she, super likable, fun, seemed like a great person. This is who you want to be kind of surrounding Britney Spears in her times of need. And it seemed like the machine kind of no longer would pay her to do that, and then therefore she kind of had to leave, and there you go. Damn. But damn, poor Britney. I mean, we honestly wish her the best. We've joked about it in the past with Zac Efron and stuff like that, but as with Zach, you know what I mean, we wish him nothing but the best. Britney, hang in there.
Yeah, you'll be free soon.
Yeah, we'll get you out of there.